Hello, everyone. Lauren Gray, Hospitality Digital Marketing. Talking to all my hospitality friends this week. Some of you know me from our live show each week, This Week in Hospitality Marketing. We do it every Friday at 11:30 Eastern. And a lot more of you have gotten to know me as well this week as I've participated with several of my cohorts in the industry to lend my voice to the chorus of professional advice as to the black swan, the whatever term you want to use, the crisis that's in our industry right now. Some of you already have learned your fate from all the furloughs that have been rolling out. Some of you are yet to know what your fate is, and others are uncertain of your fate at this particular point. But all of us are looking at what the world is going to be like now and in the future, and just well beyond what we're considering for the pandemic and our responses to it and our ability to respond to it and what our government will do and so forth. That's not the reason for this. I want to let you know of some resources that through me doing several websites this week, they're talking to, I think, over 1,500, 1,700 people on a variety of websites, all of them for free, and there's some great resources, which is what I'd like to share. I've had the chance to listen to some of our industry professionals, leaders, people that I look up to, people that are very knowledgeable in their own fields, tackle and evaluate from all the different disciplines in our industry, from sales to marketing to operations to ownerships and so forth. The variety of questions that are still unanswered and those that we can answer at this point. We know that this is going to be a very painful process for all of us. We know that not everyone will be returning to what they have left, or they have yet to leave, that they have a certainty they're going to be able to keep it. Businesses are being told to shut down regardless of their capabilities of still providing business services. We know that that's rolling out. We know that the government is responding now to this containment, the flattening of the curve, a term that we hadn't even known about just a couple of weeks ago, let alone self-quarantine and other terms that are now daily conversations for all of us. There are some great resources I would like to share from people that I have had webinars with today. Or this week, and those that are on my show live, or I say our show live actually each week. The first one I'd like to share is with Fuel Travel. They have an excellent resource on their page, and I'll put this into our conversation, fueltravel.com/crisis management resources. I'm sure they have a hotspot on their main page for this as well, but they put together a very extensive list of great articles and content from industry leaders at this point, and authenticated links that go to reputable resources, not the social hype, not the hubbub and what have you, but actual resources that are verifiable and usable. And it's a Pandora's box of just tons of stuff that you can learn and listen to about. Now, I offer this for those that are still in the process of operating through this crisis, not those that are finding themselves having to redefine themselves. That and those conversations will be coming up in time as we discuss how to rework what we can make ourselves for those that need to maybe be retrained or cross-trained, those that are looking for new occupation capabilities. All these are discussions that have yet to happen. We're kind of in that shock phase that went from what the heck was that to, oh my gosh, what is this? So we're going through all of that process. There's webinars I've done with a platform called salesboost.com. The webinar series, there's 3 of them they're doing this week, and I think they're going to be doing a couple more next week. Had some excellent panelists with me on all of them. We had several hundreds of people participating in each of the sessions. There's 2 more tomorrow. There was 2 today and 2 yesterday that go through an extensive amount of, well, what is it that we're looking at from a current and future tense as to what we should be doing now, what we should be doing in the near future, and what we should be doing in preparation for the far future, and how we're going to be looking at those things. So there's great resources also on salesboost.com. Also, tomorrow I will be doing a webinar with AAHOA, the Asian American Hotel Owners Association, and that's in the afternoon. And you can find the link to that at AAHOA, AAHOA.com, and you'll see it. It's a Corona-19 what to do about it business-wise tomorrow. And myself and Mr. Robert Cole, who is a brilliant man that's on the show with us every Friday, is starting up his own podcast, Hospitality Data, this week, because he is a data junkie and he is keeping track of these things. And if anything, now more than ever, we need to understand numbers in a way that we can interpret for our future. And he is doing a great job of keeping track of all that stuff at this particular time. And he and I will be doing a 30-minute webinar with AAHOA tomorrow in the afternoon. I think it's at 2:00. But like I said, the link is available on alhoa.com, and you can sign up and register for that. And then this week on our This Week in Hospitality Marketing live show that we've been doing now for well over 6 years every week, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, we have the privilege once again of having two leaders in the industry and two of the largest associations leadership in the industry, and that is HSMAI, the Hospitality Sales and Marketing Association International, and also ALHOA, Asian American Hotel Owners Association. They're 20,000 strong. I think HSMAI is somewhere thereabouts too. I mean, massive organizations, represent a huge percentage of those that are in the industry. Employed and unemployed, I would say. And they're both presidents and CEOs, Mr. Bob Gilbert with HSMAI and Dr. Cecil Staton with ALHOA are going to be taking the first half hour of the show to what they did last week, which was a privilege to have them on last week as well. A calming sense of this is where we are and this is what we need to look at and panic, not to quote Star Wars too deeply, panic creates fear, fear creates anger, anger creates hate, hate goes to the dark side. We don't want to do that. We don't want to react in a negative way. We follow a pattern of responses, and we need to understand that there's just some things out of our control at this point, and out of control of those that are in leadership roles and ownership roles. They are being told they have to close. They are giving no options to what they're doing. And of course, nobody wants to inflict negative to another person's life by having to tell them they no longer have a job at the current moment. But that's what we're facing right now is there's just no business because no business is being allowed. It's purposely being shut off. So we do create this break in connectivity, physicality with all of us so that we don't spread and share and create this as a worse case that hurts physically other people. So all of us must do our part to that. And it is a ripple effect of profound proportions when you start talking about the tens of thousands of people that have been laid off and will be continued to be laid off in their respective areas, Las Vegas, New York, hotels closing, restaurants closing, unable to go and do business, not whether they even have people walking in the door, being told not to do business. You can't fight that. So please understand not to get angry and resentful for this. It is not a controllable circumstance. And our deepest concerns are for those that are not financially prepared to do this and the ramifications of this as we come back out of this economy, how fast and how soon comes to the resiliency of how well we work together. So this Friday, if you want to join the show and listen to Mr. Bob Gilbert and Dr. Cecil Staton, you can sign up at bit.ly/HDM show 241, numerically 241. In fact, I'll just type that in real quick so you have that, and I can put some of the other links into this as well. This will give you a chance you can join the conversation with us as well, but certainly hear from authorities that are getting very high-level information as to what they are trying to understand to cope and to be able to disseminate within the membership that they represent. Obviously, they have two different perspectives of membership. Here you have ownership with ALHOA, and then with Mr. Bob Gilbert, you have those that are in the fields of revenue and management and revenue management, sales and marketing, and what it is. And they each have their own perspective as to how we're going to be working our path through this and what initiatives each of the associations are creating for themselves as well. Let me go get this link for those resources. I realized I should type this in this text and share that with everyone. I'll drop all these in. This is Fuel Travel's source here. And then we have, we type in for here, Sales Boost, salesboost.com. And there you'll be able to get to their webinars as well. Mr. Robert Cole on our ALHOA, let's see. And sign up for the webinar tomorrow. It'll be very informative. Robert will be bringing a lot of great useful data and a lot of useful links for resources as well, in addition to the ones you see here on the Fuel Travel link as well. We also have a weekly podcast. We are approaching this and tackling this in a much shorter form than our live show. It runs about 20 to 30 minutes, and that is Hospitality Marketing, the podcast. You can play that from your Alexa, your Google Assistant, your Siri. Just simply say, hey, Alexa, play Hospitality Marketing Podcast, and it'll play the latest edition. And we're tackling this head on with all the most recent information we have as well. We're not trying to disseminate hearsay. We're really trying to collaborate with all the information that is being shared by the industry professionals to understand things you should be doing now, like stress testing your budget immediately and evaluating what you can still do things for, and being humanitarian in your community by, if you're having to close your restaurant because you cannot do business or your food and beverage operations, helping your team members, supporting them that they're going to be for a long time possibly. And if you can maybe use the food at that time or whatever. So, or have them come in and work and eat in shifts, bring the family shifts in, physical width and area that we're being asked to do. These are ways to be the good person. The big element to this is leadership is not management. Leadership is people that will do what it takes to help others be better and not just manage. This is the time to be kind to each other. I still know, having lived through 9/11, that what you do now and how you act and what kindnesses you share are more deeply remembered than most other times when you've been just as kind or maybe just as generous, because these are times of stress and need, and people remember that. Just so too also, if you're holding them to the fire and mandating contracts and forcing payments and so forth, you're also creating resentment that will be just as deep and just as much hurtful. I still know of people that will not do business with certain companies because of how they were treated in 9/11. So keep in mind that it's up to us to be kind to each other. It's up to us to be supportive of each other. It's amazing to think that globally, as a humanity, we are approaching this as one entity. That's unprecedented. And it is to be mindful of the times that we're living in, but to be mindful of it in a positive way, and to stay away from the fear of this. We will get through this. As we know, most adversity creates opportunity, and people that maybe were doing a job that they were doing well but never thought about doing something different, this has given them the pause to think differently and maybe looking to explore other options. So please don't look at it in a negative way. Please look at it, take informed, well-documented, authoritative information. Don't just spread hearsay. Don't spread fear. Don't fearmonger, and try to be as optimistic about the opportunities that may present themselves, as dark and vague as they may be right now, and knowing that there might be opportunities for that. So with that, I thank you all for the time. I will go over and go do another live cast tomorrow prior to our webinar and promotion of that, so people are aware of it coming up in case they can throw it into their schedule. I know a lot of us are at home, and listening to Baby Shark in the background is driving us crazy, so we might appreciate the distraction of hearing some positive insights and some authoritative information in relationship to this. So I'm looking forward to you joining us for the AHOA webinar tomorrow, and obviously I would welcome you to join us on our live show on Friday, where you can sign up at bit.ly/HDM show 241. And with that, I sign off for now, and thank you very much for your time being spent listening to me today. Bye now.